when I went to Alaska, I expected a lot of things, but one of the things I did not expect was to grieve. Now, those of you who know me know I grew up in Alaska, know my father died a year ago in Alaska, probably knew that was exactly what I was going to do when I got there, but I had my defenses up, so I had just blocked out that possibility. But when I stepped off the plane and then stepped out of the airport, I immediately started crying. There's something about the smell of Alaska. The minute you take your first breath, you know you're there. I joked that they could make a candle, Alaska scented candle, it would sell out immediately. And I was just really struck by how much I missed my dad. So I did a couple of things that brought me sort of closer to him along the way. I did what my dad would do. He would go out in the morning if he was down at their house on the river, and he'd bring his cup of coffee, and he'd go and he'd watch the fish jump as he drank his first cup of coffee. So I did that every day. I walked to the other side of the shrine, out to the point, drank my cup of coffee, watched the fish jump, and really experienced his presence with me. And one night, when Mr. Lyle, the Tlingit elder, came, he shared with us the aspect of Tlingit spirituality, which is that connection to the ancestors and making space for the ancestors' presence with us, even dining with us. And I was reminded in that conversation that we have that experience of the ancestors, though we call it the communion of saints. We call it the communion of saints. And I felt that even more when we came together on our last night and had Eucharist together. And I saved my reflection for now because those of you who've done a number of funerals with me know I always say this at funerals because it's one of those places where it's really important to remember that when we come to the altar, we step into eternity with the entire communion of saints. All those we love and see no more are there at the altar with us. So even though this was the first time I'd gone anywhere in Alaska without my dad, that was startling, I still had that experience of his presence. And so I invite you, when you come to the rail today, or any day, to keep in mind, yes, we come together and we come united with one another and with God, but we also go with the entire communion of saints, those we love and see no more, and those yet unborn. It's a very powerful aspect of our sacramental life together. So I invite you to join in with that spirit. I also have two other things I want to say. Ian is the one responsible for the bear video. Much to the relief of the parents, the bear was moving away from the camera. But when you see Ian later, if you've seen it on Facebook or Instagram, it was Ian's bear video. And Liam, one of the young men from St. Luke's, pulled a Pete Iverson, and on the very last night, caught a gorgeous 5-pound silver. And I was thinking of you the whole time. Your last night there with my dad, he'd been skunked, caught that gorgeous silver. And it was Adam who taught the guys how to clean and fillet that fish on the beach. So there were some wonderful contributions made. Those are some of the other powerful memories I have of that time together and of those feasts that we shared.